Hello, hello, hello. It's Knits for Sanity and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. And of course, for my return visitors, thank you for coming back. You are so greatly appreciated. So this is a WIP and chat. WIP, in case you are not familiar, stands for work in progress. For me, that is finishing up this huge diamond painting. I mean, it's only a 60 by 80, but what I have discovered is I don't have time for diamond paintings this large at this point in my life. But I'm nearing completion. I have 2 more squares yet to do, and then it will be done, and I am so excited. For information about this painting as well as the products that I'm using, definitely check out my notes. Everything is in there, including direct links. Your work in progress can be something entirely different. Perhaps it's a different crafting project. Perhaps it's a chore you have to do. Perhaps you need to get in your workout for the day. Whatever it is, I am happy to keep you company for about an hour or so. The little footsteps that you heard in the background, you probably didn't even know they were footsteps unless you happen to own one of these. That was my dog, my bulldog Elfie. I'm going to try and make sure that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I mean, again, it's a whip and chat, so I feel like it's more a listening process, not necessarily a watching process. Although I am notorious for putting different comments and stuff as like a post-edit text. But still, this is predominantly, meant to be a listening type activity. But still, you should be able to see if you want to see. But it is just Elfie and me at home today. He is my bulldog. My very farty, smelly bulldog, whom I do love dearly. My children are all still at school. My husband had to actually work out of town today, which, if you're new, may not seem like a big deal, but that is actually quite abnormal. My husband has been working from home ever since the pandemic, and for the most part, it's been good, I guess. No, I mean, it has been, because it saves him from having to commute a very substantial distance every day, and would keep him away from home probably an additional 3 to 3.5 hours every day as well, just with the commute. So I am happy that he's at home. I've talked about, though, some of the struggles, though, with that. But anyway, so it's just the dog and me. He is not used to that. He's used to just he and Dad being home together all day when I'm out working or out running all over the place with my 4 kiddos. So he's feeling a little off. You can tell with your dog's moods and temperaments. I found him, I had forgotten to lock our storm door. So I found him just sitting on our front porch in the sun, sunbathing. And when I was trying to coax him back inside, because I'd just given him lunch, he was really not interested. He really was like, no, just let me sulk outside, please. At least we do have sun today for him to be able to do that sunbathing. Because it's been hit or miss. It's springtime, and I live in kind of northern Michigan. But this week has actually been pretty good. It's been windy. It has been quite windy, and that's made it a little unpleasant sometimes. But at least, unlike last week when we had some snow flurries and stuff, we don't have any of that this week. So I will take it. And today is particularly gorgeous. It's actually even warm. It's got to be 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. Yeah, so that's just a little quick what's going on in my house at this particular moment in time. After this, I'm on the run again. I have to go get my son and bring him to dance class. I had to make arrangements for my 2 kids in track, both middle school and high school. I had to make arrangements for them to get rides with family friends of ours who also have kids, both on middle school and high school track. So they will be going to their house after track practice, and then I will pick them up on my way home with my son from dance class. And my 3rd daughter I will probably just pass her on my way out the door to get my son for dance class. And then she'll be here alone till her dad makes it back home, which should, I mean, it'll be a couple of hours, but I mean, she's fine. She's 12. She likes the peace a lot, because this is not a peaceful house. I mean, it's not fighting. Don't misinterpret that statement. We get along quite well. It's not like loud because of fighting or anything like that. It's just loud because we live in this teeny tiny house with 6 people and 1 dog and 2 cats, and it is a little house. It is maybe 1,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms. My little area that I'm working in here is in the middle of the house. I mean, it is pretty small. So, and obviously, if you've been with me for a while, you know all of this already. Some business updates. I mean, I call them business updates, even though this is just my YouTube channel and it's just my hobby, but I don't know what else. Maybe channel updates. I guess maybe I could kind of call it channel updates. That's probably more appropriate. I think that's what I've called it in the past too, is channel updates. I am getting really close to 1,000 subscribers and I am blown away. Absolutely blown away. When I first started this channel, all I wanted was 100 subscribers. And the reason for that was because at that time, once you reached 100 subscribers, then you could get a handle. And then I could officially become Knits for Sanity, which is what my channel had always been called, was Knits for Sanity. I have been Knits for Sanity for years and years and years. Like I said in a recent unboxing of mine, it just so happened that I ended up falling in love with an additional craft of diamond painting. And that's what I ended up doing on my YouTube channel. By then, though, it was really too late. I had been Knits for so long that I just had to keep being Knits. But I really desperately wanted to reach those 100 subscribers so that I would have that as my actual handle. Well, then as luck would have it, especially just with my existence being the way my existence is, I get to 100 subscribers, and it is at that precise moment in YouTube history that YouTube decides that they are going to redo a bunch of things and reformat, and suddenly I can't get a handle name yet. So I still didn't get to officially, when you have your YouTube address and then you can just put in the handle, which for me was Knits for Sanity. So I still didn't have it because they were redoing everything. Oh, I was so disappointed. But now here I am almost 2 years later, and I have almost 1,000 subscribers. And it's not, obviously, I think it's probably very obvious actually that, I did not start this intending to get this huge following, because I never strove for that. That's not, because there are people who hop on YouTube and they get a ton more subscribers really, really quickly. They know the right ways to promote their channel, and that's what they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. If that is what you want to do, if you want to make YouTube a true, more business venture, go for it. And there are some people within the crafting world who, that's what they have done. That's what they set out to do. And I commend them. I think it's great. But that was just not my intent. At the time that I started my channel, I needed something else in my life. I had recently come out of, a very bad depression. I had to quit an insanely stressful job. I just needed to do something different and fun, and something that was just enjoyable for me, something that could use my creative energy. And I refound diamond painting at about that same time. But I realized I didn't know the other diamond painters. And so I started watching YouTube videos to kind of, meet people in the community. And I thought this might be a really good way for me to just maybe connect with some other people in the diamond painting community. And incidentally, some other types of people too. If you're new, I do tend to talk quite a bit about wrestling. And thanks to my daughter, there are a number of wrestling related videos on my channel as well. You can just ignore those if you're not into the sport, although I think you should be because it is awesome. But anyway, here we are almost 2 years later, and I have met some really neat people. Some of you watching right now, I have really come to know and care for, and I know a bit about what's going on in your life, and I am just so thankful that you're here. And now that I am this close to 1,000 subscribers, I want 1,000 subscribers. You know, as many of you know, 1,000 subscribers is definitely a milestone in the YouTubing world. For me, it's not really going to be a monetary milestone. For others, it is. You know, you start making ads. You start making money with people watching your ads and stuff. I am pretty sure I would not qualify for any of that anyway. I don't have enough viewership. And again, that's fine. I've been doing it for almost 2 years. If I was after strictly money for this, it would be a different situation. I would have quit this channel ages ago. But no, I'm in it because of the relationships that I've built and because I enjoy doing this. And honestly, I like being able to give people an honest opinion. I am not an affiliate with any company at all, and I do like that. I will do PR packages for people. I make it clear every single time. I will give a very, very honest review. If you don't like that, you know, then tell me you don't want me to pick out product, and I won't. I have given very honest reviews on different things in the past, and sometimes the supplier has not been terribly happy with it. But I'm here to be honest. I don't want other people wasting their money, right? So, but anyway, I really, really want to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're still watching me ramble at this point in time, which it has been a ramble, I actually, another side note to the side note to the side note, I actually have over here a list of things that I thought, oh, I can talk about all these things today, because my last several WIP chats have been pretty much off the cuff, just again, because of time or lack thereof. I haven't been able to as consistently do WIP chats recently, and that really bothers me. So it's been, just when I have the opportunity, I sit down to try and get a WIP chat in. And actually, truth be told, this is my 4th attempt at doing a WIP chat this week. Oy vey, don't get me started about what happened a couple of days ago. You know, we'll see. I still have one of those takes in my storage. Maybe I will actually put some of that into this video for you. And you can just get an idea of just how chaotic my house is and why it took me 4 attempts and a day when, by chance, my husband's not home, my kids are all still at school, and I am not having to work. You know, I don't have to be anywhere else for maybe an hour and a half at this point. So it's like, but it would give you a pretty good understanding. Oh yeah, it was so crazy. So if I think of it and have the time, I'll add some of those clips in here of the Temu unboxing. Oh, there goes my dog. He's very excited. He thinks that Dad is going to let him outside. Oh, what has Dad done? He stopped in the kitchen. Oh no. Oh boy, Elfie is now chasing him down, looking at Dad. What are you doing? Oh, now that is one sad bulldog. Dad went back into his office. Didn't even take him out. Oh, so now he's gone to Sister, my youngest daughter, pleading eyes. I'm sure you can hear him snorting away. Well, now he's waiting at the door. Oh, the drama of the life of the world's laziest, snortiest, fartiest dog. Oh. Anyway, that's just the kind of chaos that happens here all the time. There is no escaping anybody anytime. Oh, now the dog is chasing down the daughter as she is bringing her dirty plate to the kitchen. Thank you for, actually putting a dirty dish, at least into the kitchen. Elfie is desperately begging and pleading with her. Don't you enjoy this play-by-play? And you guys are kind of used to this sort of chaos in the background, hopefully. Can somebody just let the poor dog outside? Oh, thank you. Okay. Elfie's not going outdoors. Oh, because he really just needed to go out there and chase down the phantom delivery person. Oh, a couple of WIP and chats ago, I talked about a couple of different things. One of them I sort of brought up again today about how I have discovered that I am not a large diamond painting fan. I simply don't have the time. What am I doing, by the way, is the resin drills are notorious for this. You get all of these little bitty beads. I don't know if you can see, these little beads. And that's just the beast of resin drills. You get a lot more junk, trash with resin than you do with acrylic. But eventually it reaches a point where I just get annoyed because they interrupt me being able to pick up my other drills. So then I have to go through with my tweezers and pull them out. So anyway, yeah, I just don't have time for the super large diamond paintings at this point in my life. And I still own too many diamond paintings. So I mentioned that I had to do a destash. Well, I have started that destash. Over the weekend, I cleaned out my office area quite a bit. I listed right around 30 paintings on Mercari. I know it's kind of they've made some recent changes that don't make it the ideal selling platform anymore, but that is where I am kind of established. I started selling diamond paintings on there a few months ago, and so I don't want to open up a new account somewhere else and like redo all of that when I had just started on Mercari. So if you're interested in checking out my destash, the link is in my notes. My prices are set so that even with seller fees and shipping costs, it will still be less than what you should be able to get pretty much anywhere else, for you to pay full retail and shipping. But as with everything, a lot of those prices, there is a little bit of wiggle room. So, if you want to make an offer, go ahead. I might be able to accommodate that. So you could definitely, and please do go check that out. It's just something I can't do these big paintings. I had too many paintings. I actually have several more that I do need to list, but that's going to be probably a couple of weeks yet. So don't be on the lookout for those right away. It's going to take a little bit of time yet. And I will, of course, try and let you know when the rest of those go up too. The second channel related news or business item, I also a couple of weeks ago put up a survey question. I mentioned how I have a ton of Temu items that I need to unbox, and I asked you how you wanted me to do that. And several people responded. Thank you very much. I really appreciate hearing from you guys and knowing what you want. And I was surprised by how overwhelming the response was to, one, most of you all wanted the same thing, which was an extra long unboxing. So that is what I will be doing, is an extra long unboxing. It's going to be a little bit of time yet. Next week is chaos. Absolute chaos. But if all goes really, really well, I think Sunday, everyone's going to be home. I'm not sure the next day that I'm going to be home that I can just do the raw footage of unboxing everything, because it's going to take me a long time. But even after I do that entire unboxing, then I will definitely go through and I will heavily edit my video, because you don't need to sit here and watch 3 hours worth of video. Not to mention, there's no way I'd be able to upload 3 hours worth of video. As it is already, for videos that are over 20 minutes, I have to drive a few miles to get a good Wi-Fi connection in order to upload them to YouTube. So heavy edit will be necessary. But I'm going to try and get it down to an hour and a half. It might be more than that. But I mean, you guys, you said that's what you wanted. So I hope you're not lying to me. But like I said, it's going to be a little bit of time yet. Why I have all this stuff? Oh, well, maybe I'll talk about it in the video. Maybe not. Maybe there won't be time for that. Essentially, it is because of multiple purchases when various items that I had my eye on, specifically inexpensive sandals for my daughters. It's like every time another pair of sandals that they liked suddenly went lower in price, I'd hop on to buy it. But then like for like the fish game and stuff, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But like for the fish game and stuff, you need at least a $20 purchase. So let's say the sandals would go down to $15. And then, oh, well, I'll just add on this extra diamond painting project. You know, so that's a lot of it. Plus, at one time, just recently, there was a whole bunch of new diamond painting crafts that were suddenly on Temu. And I thought, oh, I want to get these and I want to see what they're like and try them out so that I can let you guys know. So, of course, I just went and I purchased all of those. But in the end, I ended up having so much stuff that I went, I am not going to do like 10 separate Temu unboxings for this. One way or another, this is going to have to become condensed. So that is kind of sort of the long story short, maybe. Anyway, here is the bit of exciting news for you guys. So with going through my office this past weekend and seeing all the stuff that I have, which is way too much, and then having all of these Temu items that I need to unbox and show you and let you know if it's worth your time and money, I decided that in an effort to make this Temu video just a wee bit more exciting, I am going to be doing a giveaway associated with that video. I need to destash. I need to get rid of stuff. So with that Temu video, I will be doing something, probably something along the lines of, while you watch the video, there will be, 5 or 6 secret words that when you're done, you will fill out a Google form that will be in the notes. It'll be linked in the video itself. And then there will be a drawing. That's kind of what I'm thinking I will be doing. I do want to keep it open to international people. The catch, if you will, with international will be that if you live outside the United States and you win, you have to be willing to pay half the shipping cost. So if you win and don't reside here, I will calculate what that shipping cost will be to get it to you, and I will let you know. And if you say, oh, no, thank you, that's fine. I am totally okay with it. I won't take it personally. I completely understand. And I will just go back and I'll redraw a different name. So that is kind of what I'm thinking I'll be doing. You guys are the first to know. And there's only going to be a handful of you who know this ahead of time. So you definitely have one up. My WIP and chats are not my most viewed videos. These are kind of exclusive, I guess, to those of you who I've really come to know and appreciate having you in my life, because you've come to know me. You know me better too because of watching my WIP and chats. So Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. So anyway, yes, I need to get rid of things, and I thought this would be a fun way to do it, and maybe it'll work in my favor and help push me to over 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if I don't get to over 1,000, I don't reach it, but I'd love to get there. And I kind of have a goal. I have not mentioned it yet because I wanted to wait until I was completely paid. Just, in my household, finances are almost always a bit of a bugaboo around here. So I didn't want to say anything until it was completely confirmed. But I don't know if any of you are able to go, but I will be at the Great Lakes Diamond Painting Retreat the very end of June. So if you are unfamiliar with this event, I will tell you more about it after I experience it. It's my first year being able to go. It's a raffle every year for who gets to attend. Past year participants, you get put in first for the raffle. And then if you don't make it out of that raffle, then you can try and be in the general public raffle. Well, the first time I was not selected. I didn't get in. I got an email maybe December letting me, probably, I don't remember now the timeline of how it all worked. I learned about it 2 years ago. Is this its third year of existence? I'm not sure. Because this is my first year, so I'm not terribly experienced yet. But anyway, this past year was the first time that I did submit to try and be able to attend. And I got an initial email saying, we're so sorry, your name was not selected, but you're on a waiting list. And I think she maybe even told me what number I was on the waiting list. I feel like she did. Well, it turns out enough people were unable to go after winning the lottery that I think in January I got an email saying, yay, you can go. And I said, yay. It must not have been January. It couldn't have been. It must have still been in December when I got that email saying that I could go. I feel like it had to have been, because unless it was very early January, because by mid to late January, there's no way I would have accepted. There's just no way. Because my transmission was gone and I was committed to buying tickets to the NCAA wrestling championships for my daughter. So yeah, it must have been a little bit earlier. But I am all paid up for the event, other than, of course, my spending money and my gas money to get over there and everything. But I am so excited to go. But that is my goal date. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers before I attend my first ever diamond painting retreat. And if you are going to be there too, definitely let me know. Please, I would love to meet you in person. If you're not going to be there, that's okay. I still like getting to know you this way. So, and if you're interested in going, keep your eyes out for next year. And like I said, after I go this year, I will know a lot more information and I can share it with you next year for when and how you can sign up to be part of the raffle. Now, bear in mind, I might not be there next year because it is a raffle, or finances. So, but yeah, right now I'm still pretty much in the dark because I've never done this before, but I'm excited. This is really kind of outside of my element, but I'm really looking forward to it. So there you go. That's kind of all my business or channel news. I need some coffee here. We have a couple of ponds on our property. If you are new, I should probably explain that we live in a pretty rural location. We live in the woods. We have a couple of ponds on our property. Yeah, it's pretty rustic out here, I guess you can say. And on one of our ponds, we call it our side yard pond versus our front yard pond. There's a little bitty island. I mean, and it's this teeny, the pond is small. Okay. It truly is a small pond. But then there's a little bitty island in the middle of this small pond. And on this island, and I'll put up a picture here too, because I finally got pictures yesterday, so you can see what I'm talking about. But on the middle of this island, there, for most years that we have been here, which is now just over 16 years, which is mind-boggling to me, there have been a pair of geese that have nested on that island. And, you know, I've been watching them. We don't have babies yet. It's definitely still eggs that are there, but we're getting close. We should be getting close. I want to like look at a calendar because I'm not sure how far back I first noticed that they were sitting on the nest all the time. You know, before that we see them around and stuff, and they walk the area and they come into our yard and check things out. And then eventually you don't really see them anymore, and then you know that they've started nesting. But I guess we did get rain this week. Monday was a miserable day. That's right. Monday was very, very rainy. It was just wet and dreary all day long. Did I do a video that day? I think maybe that was the day I did a video, and even like my video, was it last week? Guys, this is between being middle-aged and having 4 children and a schedule where I don't ever know where I am, when, at what time. I mean, I am like everywhere all at once and nowhere simultaneously. I mean, I am losing my mind. Whew. This motherhood thing is insane. I gotta tell you, it is crazy. But anyway, someday within the last week or so of my life, approximately, one of the days when it was really, really raining, but I really feel like it was Monday this week. What did I do Monday? That was 3 days ago already. I don't know. It's Thursday today. I know it's Thursday today. I've had to think about that a few times, but it's definitely Thursday. I have a planner. A planner is what keeps me knowing. And actually, another side story to the side story. Oh boy, guys. So yesterday I was driving over this bridge, and it's one of these bridges where you have to sit and wait for a light on the middle of the bridge. And like many people, I always have this like sudden kind of irrational fear now knowing just how bad Michigan's bridges are, but this sort of mildly irrational fear that the bridge is suddenly going to give way and we're going to plummet into the river. Okay. And so yesterday when I was sitting there at this light thinking about this, I thought, oh my word, my planner. Oh my goodness, I would have to save my planner. Because I keep a paper planner. I can't do it on my phone. I have tried. I can't do it. I need the paper. I need to write it down. It helps me remember it better. But that was my first thought. Like, oh my goodness, if I lose my planner, my life will be over. Like, people don't understand. I will be going crazy about, but my planner. So anyway, that was another side story. Oh boy. But the geese, when it was raining, back to the geese. I had this thought watching this goose sitting on those eggs in this torrential downpour as I was driving out of my driveway, because we have a longer driveway, and where you can see them is actually one spot in our driveway. There's an opening that you can see into the pond next to us and then the island. And seeing this poor mother goose, possibly father goose, sitting on those eggs in this downpour, I did have the thought that, you know, human pregnancy can be rough. 9 months carrying a child is hard. And I had difficult pregnancies. Almost anything that could go wrong in a pregnancy did go wrong for me at one point in time. But seeing that goose sitting there in the rain and realizing that goose can't go anywhere. That goose is stuck. And then remembering the snow that we've had over the last few weeks as well. Sitting there, being snowed on. there you have to sit with these eggs. You can't go anywhere. You are stuck protecting these eggs and keeping them warm. I thought to myself that maybe, just maybe, human gestation isn't really all that bad. Yeah, I mean, there's some advantages. We're a lot more mobile, generally, except when you're put on full bed rest, which I experienced. But you know, you get to be more mobile. The kid comes with you. You're not caught out in the rain, literally, for hours and hours and hours, days at a time. So that's just your little food for thought for the day, I guess. And I've been looking and waiting to see, because goslings, I don't know if you're aware, but the story of the ugly duckling has always bothered me because goslings are adorable. I would argue goslings are probably cuter than ducklings. I mean, ducklings are obviously really, really cute too, but goslings are fluffy. They are these cute, fluffy birds. Once the feathers really start coming in and everything. Oh my word, they're so cute. So the story of the ugly duckling, I always feel bad. It's just, anyway, I mean, I know that that's a swan. Don't think that I'm just that stupid, okay? But swan babies look closer to goose babies than duck babies. You know, I say that, but I guess I don't know all breeds. So, you know, maybe I'm just completely off here because, like, we have Canadian geese, and those babies are definitely adorable and fluffy. The adults, they're not, like, super attractive birds, in my opinion. They're not, I don't think they're ugly. I just like birds. You know, last week? Let's not go down that path again. Sandhill crane was back visiting. Unfortunately, I did not get the call on video, but they're really cool looking birds. I saw killdeer run in front of me on the road the other day. They are a hoot to watch walking. If you have never watched a killdeer move, go look it up on YouTube because they have these stilt legs. Oh, they're hilarious. You gotta go look them up. Killdeer. Other things that have been going on in my life. Oh, you know what? Let's see. One of these last unboxing videos, I mentioned Mother's Day and maybe someday I'll get my rose bush. Now, I have talked about this before on my channel, but because Mother's Day is coming up, and actually, is Mother's Day the second Sunday of May? Like, it's not like this week, right? It's next week, right? I believe so. It better be. It better be. I have a card for my mom, but that's all I have. I have something I want to make for her. Okay. I need to look at that. Let me know in the comments because I'll forget to look it up. Anyway, my husband is notorious for not doing well in the gift giving department. And 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago now? It could have been 3 years ago. What do you want for Mother's Day? I said, I want a rose bush. Okay. And I gave him a couple of color options for roses. Well, I still don't have my rose bush. And at this point, I've really pretty much given up. I don't think I'm getting a rose bush ever. But in this unboxing video, I mentioned our Hattie rose, which I believe I had talked about last summer after my husband's grandma passed away. She is the one who got us this Hattie rose, and that is her name for it because it was, I believe, it was either her mother-in-law or it could have even been the mother of her mother-in-law. So her husband's grandmother. Unfortunately, I do not remember for sure. And the people, there's one person left alive who might know, but I'm not sure how to contact her. But anyway, this rose bush was on the farm. you know what? I think it was my husband's grandfather's grandmother. I think it goes back that far. I really do. And on their farm was this rose bush. And one way or another, somehow, I was going to say my grandma, but it actually was my husband's grandma, had a cutting from this rose bush, and she was able to keep this rose bush with her all the way up to her final house. You know, she would start a new cutting, and every time they went somewhere, she would have this new cutting that she'd be able to transplant. And I mean, it wasn't like, it was a while before she went and got the original cutting, and I don't remember when that happened. It's not like it was something like, it wasn't when they were first right away married or anything. Again, I wish I had a better memory. I used to have a great memory. Before children, I had just a phenomenal memory. But since kids, I don't. But anyway, she went on to have, I don't even remember how many different varieties of rose bushes and other flowers as well. She loved flowers. Her name was Violet Rose, so she was, you know, born into it. And she actually would cut flowers and bring them to, at the time, what was so funny to hear her say, the old people who lived in assisted care facilities. She'd be like 80 years old doing this, bringing flowers to the old people. And my oldest really, I'm not entirely sure how it started, but she liked the Hattie rose bush. It has these really, it's a climbing rose bush, and it has these really pretty, like, looser petals. I don't know the type, actually, what it really would be called correctly. But Grandma started a cutting, and it takes like 2 years, I think, for the cutting to be mature enough and good enough to then be planted somewhere else. And the cutting was done, and it was delivered to us. It actually originally was supposed to go to my mother-in-law, but my mother-in-law, you know, I'm not sure what prompted it, but my mother-in-law said, no, you know, you bring it to our place and we'll plant it for Sylvia, my oldest. And then Grandma started another cutting for my mother-in-law. To be honest with you, I don't think my mother-in-law ever got that cutting, because like I said, it takes at least 2 years. And we got our cutting, and then you have to wait for the right time to get another cutting, that by the time the 2 years would have lapsed, my mother-in-law may have already passed away. But that is the Hattie rose. And then when my mother-in-law passed away, my daughter, Sylvia, the one who was kind of given this rose bush, obviously what will have to happen one day is I will need to learn how to do a cutting myself and properly cultivate that and everything, so that wherever my daughter ends up living, if she would like to carry this rose bush with her, that's how she'll have to have it. But when my mother-in-law passed away, each of my kids wanted to do something special for their grandma. And this was a number of years ago already that my mother-in-law passed away. And my daughter has always been very artsy. And she'd recently discovered digital art on a Kindle. She just had a Kindle tablet at the time. She was 10, right? She just turned 11. And she made a digital drawing of the Hattie rose. And it was, you know, like the story of the rose was explained on there. And we had it framed, and it was displayed at my mother-in-law's funeral. And then it was presented to Grandma. And so that was something that this rose bush has been an important part of this family for a long time, or what has become my family. So that is the story of the Hattie rose. That is the only rose bush I have. And And it might be the only rose bush I'll ever have. But yes, I had mentioned the Hattie Rose in an unboxing video, and I wanted to, and I said that I'd talk about it in my next WIP and Chat if I remembered, and so I did remember. And some of you have heard that story before. I know I have talked about it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was after my husband's grandma's funeral last summer. She did pass away last summer at the age of 95, and she was ready. She was totally ready. Community question time. Now that I'm here thinking about this stuff. So, community question, it's something that I kind of reintroduced a couple of WIP and Chats ago. And, you know, after talking today about, you know, why I started my channel and what I wanted to be able to do with my channel, with the whole getting to know the community, trying to build community, I did originally start a community question, which is just a basic question, getting to know you type question. It's not meant to be super invasive. You don't ever, you know, have to share anything you don't want to, obviously, but just as a way of getting to know you and hoping that maybe you'll read through comments and maybe get to know some other people. But after talking about this whole story about the Hattie Rose and how this is a rose bush that's been in the family for generations, is there anything in your family that has been around for generations? I mean, maybe you have a family Bible or other religious text that has been passed down from generation to generation. Maybe it's a wedding dress. Maybe it's like an embroidery item or something. Just wondering, do you have anything like that? Some people do and some people don't. You know, we have a rose bush. It's a little bit different, but we have a rose bush. So I would love to know if you have anything like that. I'm just curious, what are some different items and different things that can be passed on from generation to generation? So there you go. That's your community question for today. Leave it in the comments below. I actually have, look at what happened. This is why I'm having trouble. Can I get it in focus? One of those little plastic bits got caught in my holder here. Do you see that? I was wondering why I was having trouble picking stuff up. It's because there's a plastic bit that got caught right in there. Ugh. And that's from, you know, they get in the way of your good drills. So when you try and pick up your good drills, it makes it difficult when you have those little bits. I had a diamond painting related question that I'd wanted to ask you guys. And now it's not coming back. Like, in earnest, I had a real diamond painting question I wanted to ask you. Oh, I remember what it was. So as I'm finishing up this current painting, there's more. I'm thinking about the number of people who when they do a project, they know exactly where they're going to end. You know, like maybe on this one, they would choose to end right here with the owl. This would be their final square, would be where the owl is. And other people always attack a painting the same way. You know, they always start in this corner and they always move, you know, maybe they go around the painting, or maybe they go back and forth, or maybe they go straight across. You know, how do you have a method to your madness? Do you determine what your last square will be when you're diamond painting? I would love to know. Just my last question with how you place your drills in a section was so fascinating. The responses were great. So I thought of that the other day and I'm like, I'd love to know the answer to this one. For me, when I first got back into diamond painting a couple of years ago, I kind of was on that train of, you know, pick the best, most exciting part of the painting, like the face or whatever, and end there. But as time's gone on and I've just been more me, you know, just done my thing, I have discovered that I kind of just move at random. I pick one corner of the painting. Usually thinking about it, usually it's going to be a bottom right corner, but the painting could be rotated any direction. So it's not necessarily the actual bottom right corner of the painting. But then I just kind of go willy-nilly. And like eventually when I, if I have to turn the painting around, I turn the painting around. But I can tell you 100%, I did not know I'd end up here at the end. I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea where I'd end up. It's like a surprise. Yeah, that's what I do. I keep it a surprise for myself. So yeah, I'm ending with a couple of really very boring squares because I don't plan that kind of stuff out. I guess it just doesn't mean that much to me. I guess I don't know. So I'm just curious if you have a method to, I don't have a method to my madness really, but maybe you don't have madness. Maybe you just have a method. I'd love to hear it. Well, I'm getting there with this color. I'm actually ending on, well, the last square, there is a lot less color blocking. But the last couple squares I've done have been quite a bit of color blocking. So yeah, I mean, pretty boring squares, actually, all things considered. My kids are doing really, really well this week. If you caught it it must have been Monday. It was Monday. Monday in an unboxing. They all went to the dentist, and I told you that they all graduated from the dentist, the pediatric dentist. You don't actually graduate from the dentist unless maybe it's dental school, but the pediatric dentist they all graduated from, except that my oldest had to go back for some sealings, which we did yesterday, and then I'm called back to a consultation room. And it turns out when they were putting the sealants in, they did x-rays 2 days earlier. And on the x-rays, everything looked fine. But then when they were putting in the sealants, they found an area, and they showed me, they took pictures, and they are not wrong. They showed me a little chip they found, and then it looks gray and hollow. It could be, there's a chance it's nothing. There could be a cavity under there. It could be a filling that has come out and filled in with a cavity. But they got to go in. I mean, they won't know until they go in. And they already have appointments with their adult dentist, and that's not till the very, very end of, it's actually the day before Thanksgiving. So it was 7 months away yet. And they said, you can wait until her next appointment, or you can call. Maybe they could get her in sooner for her next appointment. Otherwise, we will do it here yet. And I said, let's just do that, because I hate the idea of my kids going in with a new dentist, a new place, a new experience, and knowing ahead of time, I'll go in, they're going to look at me, and then I'm going to have to come back and have nasty work done. Versus staying at the pediatric dentist where they know what's going to happen, they know what to expect, they get a little bit of laughing gas, so it makes the process a lot more convenient. Versus, adults typically don't, at least I never have. So I said, no, we will take her back here. So I guess technically my oldest has still not graduated from the pediatric dentist. I mean, she has, but she hasn't. She has to go back yet one more time. She's thrilled, just thrilled that she has to go back in and have some drilling done. I mean, she was so excited yesterday when she found that out. I am being entirely facetious. She was very disgusted. So I guess we're not all graduated yet. Well, and of course my son, he's still little. He'll be going for a few more years. He's still 8, so he still has a number of baby teeth left. He actually was talking about it over dinner the other night, all concerned. I think it was Sunday night, the night before the girls had their initial dentist visit this week. He was all concerned because he's like, none of my baby teeth are loose. the baby teeth I have left, none of them are loose. And he was all worried. And I said, son, don't worry. They will eventually become loose. You will lose them. I mean, occasionally, like I have a sister who does have a baby tooth that was never replaced. And I have a daughter who had 2 baby teeth before an adult tooth came in. So, I mean, there are weird things that happen. But I assured him, no, eventually the rest of your teeth will get loose and you will lose them. You go through a little bit of a lull period before you start losing your molars. So this is normal. It's going to be okay. But now he's really like, well, when do I go to the dentist? When do I go to the dentist? And he goes later this month, actually. And I think he's eager to go to make sure that mom's right. And there is indeed nothing wrong. And he will eventually lose those teeth. I am pretty sure that is why he wants to go so badly. He doesn't trust his mother, basically. Basically, that's what it means. He doesn't trust me. My mom's blowing smoke. I know my son. And that, I think, is honestly why he's so eager to be able to go. Just to make sure that everything is indeed okay. The rest of this week. Well, I don't want to live next week. I don't want to do it. Next week is really intense, and it kind of starts tomorrow. My oldest has a track meet almost 2 hours from the house, and it is one of these, like special track meets, where it's not projected to get done till 11:30 at night or so. I don't know why they create these types of sporting events. Last summer, too, my daughter had a midnight run for cross country. You know what? It's not fun for the parents. I don't want to be at a run at midnight. I have no interest in that. I don't want to do it, especially when it's an hour and a half away from my house. And so tomorrow night, I have essentially the same kind of thing. I was contemplating telling my daughter that I wasn't going to go to that one, and she would just have to ride the bus back, and we'd get her from school at 1 a.m. But when she was talking to me about it the other day, it was definitely did you see what time we'll get back Friday, Mom? Yeah, we aren't going to get back till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was a definite, you and me, Mom, you will be there, and Mom, you will bring me home from this meet assumption. And so I will be there. I will be there. This daughter, she does have substantial anxiety. I mean, if you don't know, my kids are somewhat unique. They fit right in with their parents. It's not like the apple falls far from the tree. We are a neurodivergent family. And quite often, comorbidities exist with that. So anxiety runs really, really high. And she often truly, I think, does need me there. It's become a lot less hands-off in recent years. I mean, she can ride the bus to an event now with no problem, versus when she started track as a 6th grader, there was no way. And as a 7th grader too, she never would ride the bus to an event. She could not do it. I would have to bring her. And we had to get, I got special permission and approval to be able to do that for her. But now, I mean, she can ride the bus down with her teammates without a problem. And actually the other day, she said the bus ride was fun. So, she has grown a ton, but there's still different things that her needs are different, and in some ways a bit greater than her peers. And this is one of them. I think it is important that I go. I think she might truly need me there. So I will go. I will go. And I will hopefully enjoy it unless it's raining. Track is not my favorite sport. It's just not my favorite sport. it, there are not many good, I mean, it's, you know what? It's like the goose. It's like the goose on our eggs. Except you're a track parent where you can be out in 40-degree rain for 6-7 hours at a time, sitting on bleachers, totally uncomfortable, and you're trapped. You can't go anywhere because your kid is going to get up there and run 100-meter hurdles. So there you sit in the rain, cold, miserable, wet, like that goose. So forget it. The pregnancy may be somewhat better, but the parenting? No. No. But I mean, I adore watching my kids do their sports. If you've been with me for a while, you know that. I mean, you know that very, very well. So I'm sure tomorrow night will be fine. I'm sure it will probably even be fun. Hopefully. I hope. My daughter, hopefully, will be in really good spirits. I hope. I'm kind of nervous about that. But yeah, I'll be there. It'll be fine. And then I think, like I said, Sunday, then Saturday's kind of crazy. My son is his first dance competition, like first ever dance competition. So we have to do that Saturday afternoon and evening. Sunday, I think I'm home, but then Monday and all week, I am so busy. I have, for work, it's meeting after meeting. And for me, these meetings involve like traveling other places. There are obviously lots of activities with the kids, more track meets, more meetings. I mean, I don't want to do next week. Next week is going to be a really hard week. Don't you just hate that when you know ahead of time that the next several days are going to be really hard to live through? It's one of those weird, it's just one of those weird facts of life. It's like before my kids have had surgery, the next several weeks are going to be very hard to live through. But you don't have a choice. You just do it. It's like when people find out about different situations and circumstances within my family and they're like, oh my goodness, how do you manage? And my answer is always, you just do it. I mean, you don't have another option. You just do it, right? Isn't that life in general? You just do it. You'll figure it out most of the time, one way or another. You'll figure it out. Things may not always go well. That's just how it is. So, okay, guys, I am very nearly, finally, almost done with this color, which means it's probably a good time for me to finish up my WIP and chat, which means then I have to get ready to go and pick up one of these 4 children, the son, so that I can take him to dance class. I always sing it. I don't know why. So this is probably a really good point for me to sign off and say thank you so much for joining me. I'm really trying to get the last few of this one down though while I still am doing this. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your life for a little bit of time. I do appreciate it. And obviously, any questions or comments, leave them in the comments. That just came out kind of funny. And my community questions too, are there any historical items of significance that have been passed down from generation to generation in your family? And how do you diamond paint? Like, how do you attack a canvas? Do you always start in the same place? Do you know where you're going to end? I'd love to hear. And like I always say, please practice kindness. You don't know what someone's going through. They could be a crazy mother of 4 who can't even tell you what day of the week it is. And she could just be at the end of her rope. So just be kind. And a little bit of extra patience can go a really, really long way. And I hope that you are having a wonderful day.